Hi everyone, now one of the biggest issues that people have with smartphone filmmaking is the fact that their shots and creations come out just too sharp. When you're using a phone, often you'll have a very digital looking shot, and even with log, it may look slightly more sharp than a regular mirrorless camera or a big cinema camera, of course. Also, another issue you have with smartphone filmmaking are reflections on glass, and this is filmmaking in general. So if you're filming a car scene, for example, or where there's windows and you don't want to get the reflection of something that's distracting in the shot, it can be a big issue. But Sandmarc's new retro filter not only largely solves those problems, but also gives you a nice retro look. So let me review this for you, and we'll get right in right now. A clip-on mount attached with them, so you can just attach this and clip it over your phone. You don't need a phone case at all, and it's really easy to use. Now I already have a phone case by Sandmarc, so I'm using that instead with my iPhone 15 Pro, and I'm using a step-up ring which I got included as well from Sandmarc. So it's a really nice simple way to attach to your phone case. You also have the clip-on way as well to do it. Now this just screws onto the case, as you can see, like a bottle cap lid, and then with these filters you actually get them in a pouch. This is a really nicely made pouch, and it's very soft as well, really well cushioned. So I feel like if you drop this out of your pocket, there's no way this glass would break at all. It's very, very soft, very, very well thought out. Now you get two different strengths of filters. So you get a soft strength and you get a strong strength filter, which we'll go into in a little bit. Now these are very well made, very sturdy. The quality of the glass looks absolutely fantastic. And that silver ring you see on top of the filter is actually a circular polarizer, which we'll go into shortly. So you're getting a 2-in-1 feature with this lens. It's not just a mist filter, you actually get a circular polarizer included as well. So let's now take a look at how the polarizer works on these filters. Now as I turn the silver part of these filters, the circular polarizer, you can see it changing colour. And essentially what that's doing is it's allowing less or more light into your sensor, which then allows you to control your reflections. So as you can see here in this horrible brown water from the Thames River in London, you can see so much more of that colour when you turn that filter one way or the other. So you can have really strong reflections as if you didn't have a filter on, but you can then turn it so that you do have absolute control and you're able to see straight through things that would normally be reflective. Even this building at a distance, when we go close up, you can see how it slightly changes with this filter even at a long distance away. Now it's also important to note that whilst these do get rid of a lot of the reflections, depending on where the sun is in relation to your camera lens shooting at the subject, it doesn't always get rid of all the reflections. It just is impossible to really at certain situations. So largely it will work, but you may have to angle the camera slightly different to make sure you get rid of all or a lot of the reflections in certain lighting conditions. Glass is one of the best ways that you can use these filters. So on this building at a slight angle, you can see the glass on the higher level there in the middle. It almost completely gets rid of, if not definitely completely gets rid of, all the reflections on that glass. So if you had a scene where someone was standing there or having a conversation by the window, you could capture every detail of that using these filters. So you're not just getting a mist-like feel to these filters, you're getting that circular polarizing feel as well. So it adds so much value to these filters because you're really getting double bang for your buck, and they work really well, as you can see in this shot. Now with these filters being called retro filters, a big part of that is the softening of an image to give it more of an old school film-like feel rather than a digital look. So if we go from no filter to the soft strength filter, you can see that we're also, whilst losing some of the light, making it a bit darker, making the richer colours, we're actually getting much softer image as well, taking away that digital edge. Going to the strong filter, getting a slightly heightened sense of that as well. So you can see when we go close up to the hair, it looks so much softer than when we're not using a filter. It looks so much better. The detail that you're capturing is much nicer, and it has a much smoother roll off as well when you look at the hair and edges of the face too. So you're getting a much more film-like feel with these filters than if you're just using these phones without a filter. Now even with log it looks great, but these filters definitely do add something special to them, and that retro feel is definitely achieved with this softening of the image. Now you can see here from the soft to the strong, left to right, you are getting less blemishes as well, so it even softens the skin tones too of your image, which is really nice. Now with these basically being mist filters as well, let's take a look at how these actually bloom the highlights in your shots. Now without a filter, you can see that whilst this is a nice looking shot and the colours look good, of course we're filming in log on the iPhone 15 Pro, when you go to a soft strength filter, that blooming in the highlights in the sun, especially if it's a really strong direct light like this, you get a much softer image and a nice blooming effect across the whole of your image as well. The strong filter gives you of course a stronger sense of that, so it's up to you whether you'd want to use something that's slightly more subtle or something that's much stronger and more obvious. And then it gives you a bit more of a Hollywood retro feel as well. I know it's meant to be just retro, but I do think you get that kind of old school 80s, 90s Hollywood feel with these two. And the colours really do pop when you move into the filters as well. It's a really, really lovely touch to add to your shots. And if you're shooting something that isn't so modern looking, then I think these are a really, really good way to go. How the sunlight blooms here across the washing and how it kind of just adds so much to the shot. It really does give you something that you can't get with many other filters at all. So I really recommend these if you want to get something that's going to give you that kind of extra touch of glam to your shots. When you have that added feel of leaves where the light's scattering through, the fact that the light is already being dispersed through the mist filter and dispersed through leaves of the tree, you get that effect tenfold, so it really kind of enhances that as well. So use your environment, use where you're filming to your advantage to get the most out of these filters, and you can make some films or narrative stories at least as well that will work really, really well with these and get that kind of extra production feel too. If you're finding value in this video, then I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and like button. It really does help this channel grow and it lets me know that you're enjoying these videos too. Now we've seen how these look in bright daylight, but let's see how they look as we head in towards the evening hours and the light gets darker and darker. Now here, about mid-evening, you can see the light here is very subtle when you're not using a filter. Then we move to use the soft filter. It makes a big, big difference. So as the light dies around your subject, electric lights and boardings, things like that really do stand out a heck of a lot. Now, the difference between the soft and the strong in this situation at nighttime isn't actually as pronounced. So as we move into these, you can see it is a big difference without the filter, but when you're actually seeing these two different strength filters next to each other, it's almost impossible to tell the difference at nighttime. So I think unless you've got lots of really, really strong lighting situations, you're probably not going to see a massive difference between the two. Even here, I struggle to tell the difference, and I'm the one that filmed this. Moving into like a nighttime tunnel situation where I'm looking up at graffiti in the ceiling of a tunnel, it's really, really hard to pick out the differences between these. So just note that if you're going in for like night shoots, take both of these filters if you want them, and then just have a little bit of a play with and see which one works best for you. Going into nighttime shots, I do think the strong filter does handle the highlights a little bit better. So if you're looking for something that does that, then the stronger filter might be the one for you. And now with these shots ungraded, you can actually see that the difference is very minimal as I go from shot to shot here in DaVinci Resolve color page. Using the waveform, the parade form, you can see the difference between these two filters is very, very minimal. And in fact, it's just a slight difference in the shadow areas between them, and that's it. Now $99.99 is the price for both of these filters together. You don't buy one or the other, you get both included. That comes with a clip-on, and if you want to use a phone case with these, you'll need that step-up ring like I said. Overall, I have to say I've really enjoyed using these filters. These retro filters add a real professional look to your shots. They definitely give you a much softer look as well when you're going from not using them to using them, and even using Apple Log where it does soften the image a lot for phones. Adding these filters gives it a much more professional feel. The blooming in the highlights is a really stunning look as well, and when it gets the nice strong sunlight from the sun itself, you do get that really beautiful kind of like glow across your whole image, which you just cannot get without these kinds of filters. Having a circular polarizer built into the filter is a really nice touch as well, so not only are you able to get nice, professional, soft, glowing retro looks with these filters, you're also able to control those reflections in water, glass, as I've shown you in this video. It's a really nice touch, and I think as well, having these sold for $99.99 with the clip included is an absolute bargain, I have to say. To get those looks would cost you hundreds and hundreds of dollars if you're getting these for a bigger camera or a bigger size filter. And with this, with Sandmarc's creativity, they're giving you something really special for, I think, a very, very good price. If you've enjoyed this video, then check out my review of the Sandmarc's telephoto lens right here, right now. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.